The Honorable Supreme Court of India sought a man's advice and opinion before setting out a seminal judgment that is all set to change the course of evolution of IPR regime in our nation.
You put your hand out in the galaxy of intellectual property law in this country, searching for the brightest of the stars. You're looking for this man.
And today we have the great honor of speaking to the same man who's going to guide us, who's going to share his experiences with us, and who's going to inspire us. Ladies and gentlemen, we're so proud, we're so privileged to have with us today the illustrious Professor Shamnad Basheer. Thank you so much, sir, for having accepted our request for this interview. We're really grateful to you. Let's start out by discussing the CLAT PIL that you filed, sir. Every time this exam ends, there starts a new row of litigation that ensue. You've called the present system to be arbitrary, to be substandard, inefficient, among a lot of other things. What led you to file this PIL? And what do you think the court's judgment is going to be like?
Well, I'll start with your second question, because it's difficult to say what the court's judgment is going to be. Our courts are as unpredictable as the rest of the country, but we're hoping that they take it seriously in the sense that year after year, it's individual law schools doing this exam. While there may be good law schools and they could be running their setups well, for them to conduct an exam of this magnitude is enormously difficult, given that year after year the number of CLAT aspirants are going up, the quality of the question paper needs to be of a certain caliber. Now if you have one law school go it 1 year and the next law school go it after another year, you are never going to have a system that is foolproof when it comes to errors. You know, everyone's going to commit errors because I'm doing it for the first time. What you really need is one institutionalized system that's a repeat play. You know, that can gain from the experience it has in the previous years, correct the mistakes, move on. And what we did was, over the years, we've noticed that almost every law school has committed errors, even the best of them. Right? Whichever way you want to define the best as in the CLAT preference number one, because nobody knows really which is the best law school. The rankings are controversial. But if you look at the National Law School of Bangalore, 2008, everyone says that was an error-free paper. And we said, no, even that had errors, and we documented it. Right? But the quality and the quantity of errors were less than what we're seeing now. And of course, this year, I think the college that did CLAT took the cake in terms of the number of errors. 50% or more of the paper was faulty, 50% or more of the paper had wrong answers, wrong questions, you know, and it's for right reason that we call it arbitrary and unreasonable, you know, because it's just arbitrary questions, plagiarized questions. Even amongst the plagiarized questions that had errors in the copy. Right? So I think it hit a very new low in terms of quality when it came to a premier entrance examination that is supposed to pick presumably the best students out of the country for the study of law. And if you look back at the national law schools, what made the national law schools and what made all these premier law schools what they are basically the quality of students. Right? It was the entrance filter that guaranteed that you have a high caliber student ratio coming in. And then you give them enough space to interact within themselves, and whatever shortcomings you had in terms of faculty or infrastructure or resources, you more than made up for by the fact that you have this high quality student base there interacting with each other, learning from each other, and then going on to become good lawyers. So by default, that was a system, and if that is a system and your reputation has sprung from the fact that you had these enormously talented children coming in because of this filter, you need to respect that filter and you need to treat it well. But what has happened over the years is that we've compromised the one key filter that accounts for this reputation, and that's why it agitated us. That, you know, this is the one that made a lot of these law schools what they are. So let's go back to that filter, repair it, put it back on track. And we're not saying that the law schools are bad or somebody is doing it intentionally. It's just that systemically there is an issue because it is impossible for the best of law schools to do it independently. You need a permanent institutionalized setup to do this.
On the same note, Professor Basheer, what are your thoughts about the prospects that the two new national law universities, namely Mumbai and Tiruchirappalli, have to offer to the law students?
Well, I'm not a great fan of the mushrooming of law schools.
Okay.
You know, because, you know, it's very simple. You have more than enough law schools in this country. Right? I'd rather that you focus on improving the standards of the existing law schools and go on and create more and more. This is almost an extension of the Indian jugaad mentality in one sense, right? That there's a problem here, so we won't fix the problem, but we'll go here and create another institution. Right? And this seems to be our mindset. I mean, many years ago the government said, when we don't have legal research happening in the country, out of the university, so we create what do they call them? CALSA, Centers of Legal Research and Excellence, or some such rubbish. And I said, well, you already have universities, invest in them and try and make them centers of research. Our entire notion seems to be when something is faulty, you create something new. Right? You create something new if the thing that is faulty cannot be repaired. I don't think that we're beyond repair. I think some of these things can be repaired. We can focus a bit of energies on it. No point just doing law school after law school. Focus on it. And we have limited resources. How many faculty do you have going around really at this? Where are you going to get the faculty from? Right? You think through a system, you have to think through, it cannot be a symptomatic assessment of the situation, which is what unfortunately most of us do. We're very symptomatic, right? We're like the quick pain relief. We want quick pain relief. We don't care about the underlying symptom. The underlying symptom is we don't have faculty. How do you encourage more students to get into teaching, into research, into policy? Those are the things that need to occupy our mind. And once you get that pool of good quality people coming out for research, academia, then you have enough people going into the institutions. Then that's the way you grow institutions, you build it. But now just mushrooming institutions left, right and center and getting, presumably if you don't have enough people, you get third quality people coming in. What's the point? What sort of lawyers are you going to create?
On the same point, sir, there seems to be this obsession among law students in the contemporary law schools that they want to join law firms and make a lot of money. Nobody wants to go and teach and guide. Nobody wants to be indulge in public law. What is your take on that?
Yeah, one is I always tell my students, go out and make all the money you want. But the assumption that law firms are the only way to make money is, I think, the most mistaken assumption. A couple of students, very bright entrepreneurial students at NUJS, some of my former students, they went out and did legal entrepreneurship. They went into areas where nobody had gone, spotted business opportunities. Now, compared to their classmates who are slaving around 16, 18 hours a day in law firms, some of them like it, but many of them hate it. Right? Because the typical, I worked in an intellectual property law firm. It is for each of us to assess if we like the sort of job that comes with a certain outfit like a law firm. I loved my job at the law firm. Somebody else may not like it. But students are making their choices the wrong way. They are making their choices based on the assumption that my seniors have done this. This is the most prestigious job. This is the most reputation job with the greatest reputation. This is the coolest thing to do. So let me try and aspire towards this. But if you ask the question, do you really have a passion for that kind of a job? But they're not even asking that question. And if you don't ask that question and you go in without a passion for that kind of transactional lawyering, if you don't have a passion, 1, you will never be a good lawyer in that setup. 2, you will be unhappy. 3, you will be not an asset but a liability for the firm itself. Right? So I think at the law school, people and law school should be an opportunity for you to find your passion. If your passion is that, go into that, go into a law firm. If your passion is not that, because once you find your passion, the money will follow, the fame will follow, the satisfaction will follow. But we're putting, we're doing it completely the other way around. We're not looking at the core essence of the job, which is how you're passionate about it. We're looking at the peripherals. Do you make money out of it? Do you get a good lifestyle? Do you get this? And last we ask, are you happy with the job? It should be the other way around. Are you going to be happy with this? Then look at the other things. Because once you're happy, then you can compromise. Okay, I don't make as much money as my friend. Fine. I won't buy the next iPhone on the market. I'll buy the Nokia. That's fine. But at least I'm waking up every morning, jumping from my bed and saying, I want to go to work. As opposed to saying, I really don't want to get out of bed. How do I get through the day? And then I think of, if I work for the next one month or a couple of weeks, I get this nice vacation, expensive vacation, I make enough money anyway which I can get. That's not the way you want to run your life.
That couldn't have been put better. There's another question that stems from here, Professor Basheer, is that you were a visiting associate professor at the George Washington University of Law in Washington, D.C. And then you returned to India to work at the NUJS as the Ministry of HRD Professor Chair of Intellectual Property Rights. How different are the two styles of teaching, Professor Basheer? You've talked.
Oh, you mean in the US and in India?
Exactly. Yeah.
So you mean to say generally how the US faculty teach when compared to India?
Yes.
So I think there's a lot more experimentation going on in the US when it comes to their teaching methodology. India, by and large, I think across the law schools for a long time it was the lecture method, right? At least when we were in law school, a large number of faculty, although we claimed that we were following the Socratic method, nobody really does the Socratic method. It's immensely difficult to follow because the Socratic method demands that you help the students find the answers through getting them to answer their own questions or through posing a series of questions. It's a very difficult process. And it's very difficult to coordinate that process. So you need to have complete mastery of the subject at your end and you need the ability to control the classroom and to drive it in a certain way that they find the answers and they come up with the answers. So not many really do it well. So it was largely a lecture method that we followed here. Although when I came back in 2008 and taught it, I found that a lot more Indian professors were experimenting with different styles, getting more critical analysis into their classroom, trying different things. But I still think the rate and range of experimentation is far less than what you might find in the US. In the US, it is more of a critical mode of teaching. I mean, they've shifted. They first had the case law approach, and now they have the problem-solving approach. And I don't know what it's going. Now it's the flipped classroom method, where they make you do a lot of the reading at home, and then they come back, and the classroom is just about a one-on-one engagement with high-level problem-solving. But most of the reading and most of the assignment, everything you're doing back at home. So it's a flipped classroom. You're flipping the classroom around. And also, I think now the focus is shifted to experiential learning in the US. In India, we're still behind that. Experiential learning, we still have a long way to go. And experiential learning mainly through clinics and the others, because those are very intensive. You need lots of resources. You need people who are equipped in those fields. You cannot have the regular faculty member. You need people with experience in the field, with practice of law, coming in and doing this. And I think so. We have some challenges there, but I'm seeing that some of the newer law schools are picking up on it. And hopefully we will find that at the level of pedagogy, we also make a lot of innovations and improvements as we go forward.
There's a lot of hope in that statement. With that, we take a break at Parley with the Pirates. Do join us back. Professor Basheer has a lot more to offer.
Welcome back to Parley with the Pirates. We have Professor Basheer with us. Professor Basheer, you truly are an inspiration to a huge number of law students. What is your message to all the current crop of law students who are going to pass out now, and a lot of those who are yet to enter this magnificent profession?
Well, I mean, I hate giving out messages, but to the extent that a message needs to be here now, I think one simple message, just one simple message: live one moment at a time. As law students, I think the biggest mistake that everyone makes is this mad rush to do so many things, populate your CVs, craft and create the right set of things so that you get a nice job. You may end up getting a nice job, but you will live a sad, sad life if you're going to tune into that kind of film. Each moment is to be cherished, each moment is to be lived. Explore your passions, find out who you are. Law school is meant to be a journey of introspection, of self-discovery. You've got 5 glorious years, use it for that. Don't go taking course after course, just to embellish your CV. Discover what the law is about, what philosophy is about, what life is about, what is your connection with the universe, what is your connection with the other human being. Go out and love somebody, explore that. Spend time on all those valuable things. Spend time with nature. Nature teaches you a lot. Tagore learned almost everything he had from nature. And yet, how many of law schoolites learn from nature? No, we want to go to the closest disco, or we want to go out, but nobody wants to go to nature. Right? So take one moment at a time. Find your passion. There's no hurry. Some of the people who created some of mankind's biggest creations and inventions found their footing way later in life. You don't get it right on day. You don't need to get it right on day one. Go with the flow. Take as long as you want, but find your passion in the end. There's a Japanese painter who created his masterpiece when he was 70 plus. Started painting when he was 50 plus. Some of the best legal academics that I've found the law after 40 years of their life. Found their passion or their true calling in law. So you can find your passion at any time, but find it. And once you find your passion, then everything falls into place. Let the universe lead you, let destiny lead you. But this mad rush to embellish CVs and do everything for the sake of doing it, I think that's the biggest mistake that we are making. Ban CVs from university campuses. The word CV should be treated as an abuse, as a bad word. Right? That would be my simple message.
Discover, love, and find your passion, says Professor Basheer. Ed Miliband once said that remember every time whenever you're not practicing, someone somewhere is. And the day that someone meets you, he or she will win. We had that winner here today with us. Thank you so much, Professor Basheer, for taking out such precious time of yours and interviewing with us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.